What is going on, everybody? We are back for the ABJ Podcast, up to 160 episodes. Super excited about this one. Sammi Chaos will be joining us momentarily, but let's get some housekeeping, some panhandling, internet shaking of the cup out of the way. Make sure you check out the links below to not only support me and follow me on social media, but follow Sammi as well. Merchandise links, social media links, follow them everywhere. They are absolutely fucking killing it on the independent wrestling scene. We already lost monetization. I'm excited. I'm throwing curse words. They are the current Outcast Wrestling Champion, PPW Wrestling Champion, Fallout Shelter Champion, and will probably, if you invite them to their promotion, they'll win that title too. Tag titles, the singles, men's, women's, intercontinental, except this one. I am not medically cleared, unfortunately, Sammi. So the doctors in the back have told me my neck is not good. I'm pulling the Bret Hart. I'll wrestle El Dandy, but that's about it. But make sure you guys check it out. There's tons and tons of merchandise. I am really trying to upgrade my camera and a few other things going on. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you check the join button. You can do it as little as 99 cents or whatever you want to do. Patreon, merchandise, all that's there. If you're listening to this later on the audio side of things, take a screenshot of your phone watching this or listening to this and tag us on social media and let us know what you thought of the episode. Maybe there's a question I didn't ask that you wanted to hear, and connect with us. The best way that we can show our worth and get booked in more places and do more things is by you. You have way more power as a listener as you think you do. And if you want to see more people wrestle or perform in your area, best way to do it is speak out. All right, let's have some fun. Without further ado, let's bring in my guest, Sammi Chaos. What's going on?
Hello. What's up?
Very
I like
pumped
that
for
belt
this one.
behind you. I like that belt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can take photos with it. Just don't beat me up. All right. Yeah.
All right, fine.
It's just a business card. It's not legitimized. Oh. Yeah.
Business card.
Yeah. Yeah, you have been coming on to the northeast scene of Pennsylvania, and just kind of lighting it on fire, like really getting your name out there through us because of PPW. PPW is the way your kind of outlet of coming into this. But before we get into any of that, tell us yourself who you are and what you do.
Who am I? I am Sammi Chaos, and I'm a professional wrestler. That's what I am, and I beat the shit out of people. That's what I do. You said we're already demonetized, right? So I'm gonna
it's gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So, how long have you been professional wrestling, and when do you remember falling in love with professional wrestling? Is it something you've always been a fan of growing up, or was it something that came later?
Yeah, I was definitely a fan growing up. It's actually all my older brother's fault. He got me into wrestling, the whole Attitude Era, whole fun stuff. But I've been training for about 3.5 years now. So yeah, I'm still a baby.
Well, in 3 years, you're very polished. There's a lot of things that I think outside of the wrestling business that people don't take in consideration, and confidence and just finding yourself as a character, learning how to work a crowd is not easy to do. But I feel like, I mean, we'll kind of get into this here. We'll ask this here. Where did you start training? How did you get involved with your training? And how did you land where you are?
So I train out of the Fallout Shelter in Brooklyn, and just kind of word of mouth. I actually started somewhere else at the beginning of the pandemic. I think it was like the February right before the world shut down. Mm-hmm. And just kind of networking, I found the Fallout Shelter, and I'm so fucking happy that I did. The trainers there are amazing. You know, Masha Slamovich, Jorge Santi, Mike Law, Steve Pena, Prince Ahmed, who we all love. But yeah, it's been a roller coaster, and it's awesome.
What made you go from being a fan of it forever to then jumping in and wanting to do it?
I was very tired of sitting at a desk from 9 to 5. So now I sit at a desk, and I also beat people up on the weekends. But yeah, I was kind of I was just fed up with what I was doing or not doing in life, and I was like, that seems like something maybe I'll be good at.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think I'm all right.
Very good.
Listen.
It's just unfortunate because you're definitely trying to go for more of a heel role in professional wrestling, but these bloodthirsty heathens at PPW just love watching you kill people. And it's crazy. They put you against some of the most beloved people on that roster, and they you to tear them apart. Like, I never thought I'd see Danny Moe not get cheered as, like, I mean, they still love Danny, but they wanted you to kill Danny.
Oh my God, they still want me to kill Danny. That was one of the most wild things. Someone wearing a Danny Moe shirt came up to me and said, "I want you to tear Danny to pieces." And I'm like, is everything okay at home?
Who hurt you? Yeah.
What is going on? But yeah, it doesn't matter what I do. People just want to see me tear people apart. So.
It's the charisma. You have amazing charisma. You, even though without doing very much, I mean, you're it's just a look, it's just an attitude, it's the way you conduct yourself, but it resonates with people. Do you have a theory on what that may be?
Well, I think wrestling in general is just an outlet for anybody, wrestlers, the crowd, anybody. So I think people seeing me and seeing what I do, it's kind of like, it's like a release almost, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're booing me or cheering me or like telling me to die, which is hilarious to me. They just go out and they let it all out, and they see me like this big bitch, and it's like, like not everybody looks the same, so it's refreshing, I think.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about this a little bit on the 5 questions with ABJ. Is like, sometimes in the wrestling business, it is definitely a body industry, right? You could either be too small, or you could be too, to people criticize you for being too big. And I feel like bigger men don't get it nearly as bad as women. So if and we described it more of as a powerhouse role, right? We don't want to say big girl, you know what I mean? But like Nia, everyone hated her more because of her size than what she can do. And I think since coming back, she's really won a lot of people over because she's good at what she does. Like, she's needed for that division. I wish they booked her a little stronger, but people like resonate with you, and I absolutely love that.
Yeah, I love it too. But yeah, no, I think like Nia coming back, I don't know if it's like they're booking her better or she just got a lot better, this time around, but I'm actually enjoying what she's doing this time. So
I think a lot of her first run too, she had 2 blown out knees.
Oof, that'll do it.
Yeah, I believe she was like a rugby player, or she played some sport. I forget what it was, but so growing up for you, what type of kid were you? Were you a theater kid? Did you play sports? Were you just kind of stayed to yourself? Where did you fall into? Will make you more relatable to more people now. They say, "Oh, Sammi was a theater nerd," like something, whatever it may be.
It's funny because I was kind of all of those things. I was a theater kid who was also a jock. I played basketball and volleyball, but I had like dyed hair and wearing Motley Crue t-shirts, and
love that.
I didn't know where I fit in, so I think I was just trying to grasp at straws, and I'm like, maybe over here, like but yeah, I played basketball like my entire life. I come from a big basketball family.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm a basketball girl.
Did you go through college and play ball at all?
I played in college a little bit, but then I just fell off, and then real life happened.
How do you feel about women's basketball being treated the way it is now?
Oh my God, well, it's like a revival now. I'm like loving it, because before it was like WNBA who, and now it's like they're selling out everywhere and they're actually talking about it. Before you wouldn't hear anybody talk about it.
I'm the firm belief, though, a lot of the counterparts of women's sports are always like, well, sell more tickets and we'll talk about it. But everything has to happen with promotion. If people start taking things seriously, wrestlers, podcasters, anything, if there's something you're passionate about and you want it to be good, everything works with the machine behind it. And there's no truer way of doing that than showing WWE wrestling. They will make you,
No.
they will shove a wrestler down your throat and put them in front of your face until you think they're the greatest of all time. And they may
Right.
not be, but we will
Right.
shove it down your neck
They're
until you
gonna
believe it
convince
is.
you.
Yeah. And that's what they've kind of been doing with women's sports. They're giving it a
Yes,
platform. They're talking about it. It's on the ESPN reels. It's saying, hey,
I
look at this
know.
highlight play. This game is coming up. Go buy tickets. And
Hmm.
shockingly, it's getting
It's
popular.
working.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
what promotion does.
Yeah. I still think they're telling the girls out there, hey, listen, go out there and shove her a little bit, push
One
her, get a little
hundred
chippy.
percent, they're
They're
doing that.
they're booking it. They're booking it.
100%. Like, it's funny because people shit all over Caitlin Clark, and
Yeah.
I'm like, you wouldn't know like any of the players if it weren't. I'm not saying if it weren't for Caitlin Clark, but like she kind of pushed it in people's faces, and it's like you can't hate the girl.
Yeah. Well, who's the other girl too? In college, they
Reese,
were always in each other's face, like taunting each other, and now they're both
yeah.
in the league.
Was it Reese? I don't know
I
her
think
first
so. They're
name.
like the modern
Yeah.
day Bird and Magic Johnson.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love it. I'm here for that. I'm a big
It's
Bird
fun to watch.
fan, so I'm like, yes. Hell yeah.
So, how were the beginning stages for you getting into professional wrestling, and how was it finding your place?
It was really hard. Imagine that wrestling is hard. I think also growing up playing basketball, being as big as I am, you're told to like be a tree and be sturdy and don't fall and be rigid. And all of that had to be thrown out the window. And I had to learn to fall and, go like head over feet and like all this stuff. And it took me a really long time to kind of even get the basics. I'm just like, you want me to do what? Why? Like, oh my God. Um, and it just took a lot of people who just believed in me and decided to take the time to, show me how to do things and, see potential in me.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't understand the power of believing in somebody. Because if you would have seen me 3 years ago, like, no, it was like, get this girl out of here. But
There's a girl who it was at the Fallout shelter. I don't know if they're still there, but they were struggling on the scene, having some issues. And I remember just pulling them aside one show, and I was like, "You have everything. You just once you learn how to wrestle, it's gonna be there." And but I
yeah,
think the problem they were having is they were going to a lot of schools, and they were being booked because they're pretty, and they weren't
right,
trying to help them get better. And I was like, go to Fallout Shelter. Like, go, you're gonna train by
yeah,
Masha. I said, like Cosmic. Cosmic was doing well, but I felt like Cosmic, if her in-ring got better, she was gonna advance. And then her going to Fallout like skyrocketed her. Like when
oh
that
yeah,
match with Trisha Dora
100%.
and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
one of the ones that like had a trouble finding the character and how to working the character, but it was Nikki Duke. Like I was like,
Yeah,
Nikki, if you're in that area, get there. You're gonna get better if you
yes,
go there. And now she's on WoW. She's doing amazing things. She's finding herself.
yes,
But I think that's what's really important about finding that right school where the Fallout Shelter really treats everybody like they treat everyone the same and they treat everyone to help them get to that point. I think a lot of
yeah,
schools from an outside perspective try to treat the women like the men the same way, but it's two different styles of characters. The fans react to female wrestling different than they react to men's
yes,
wrestling. And I think people like Masha and like even Cosmic has learned how to work a crowd differently than anyone I've ever seen. And I think
hmm
that schooling, I never went to a training facility or anything, but seeing what comes out of there, everyone's just on a different level.
that's all. Oh my God, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's night and day from where any of us has started. From when Cosmic first walked in, from when Nikki first walked in, from when I first started. We're completely different wrestlers now, and it's really fucking cool to see.
Yeah.
The progress is awesome. Yeah.
So have you always been Sammi Chaos? Was there a name before that? Or how did we land on Sammi Chaos and where does it come from?
I mean, for the past 3 years, I've been Sammy Chaos. But the name Sammy Chaos actually comes from I used to date a like soccer hooligan punk type dude, and he was friends with some band. I forgot what it was, but they used to perform at Asbury Lanes all the time in Jersey, and the front man, his name was Sammy, like Sammy Chaos. They called him Sammy Chaos, and I was like, that is such a cool name. I was like, I hate my actual name. So I'm just like, "Ah, I want a cool nickname. Like, what the hell? Like, they would chant his name, and I'm like, I'm taking, like, no, like, I'm taking this name. That's it. So
Is he
all I did was
aware?
no. Well, it's funny because my ex, he's actually in like the wrestling, like he's a super like wrestling fan, and he's at shows and he knows like my wrestling name and stuff, but he's never said anything. So, but listen, I'm
It's
putting
yours
it to
now.
good use. Okay, it's mine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where Sammy Chaos comes from.
It's very punk. I definitely, it definitely sounds like a
Listen,
British punk rocker. Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Um, well, you kind of said before, learning how to bump and changing up your style from playing sports to professional wrestling. What were some setbacks that you were going through, or even still to this day as a professional wrestler that you go through?
Um, you kind of have to get out of your head a lot. I tend to overthink literally everything that I do.
Every wrestler.
Yeah, and it's just ridiculous. I think once you learn to kind of just like let go and not overthink things, that's when things kind of mesh together and they start happening. And it's like, even in training, we'll have to learn like a sequence or whatever it is. And it's like, if I'm just thinking, I'm going to fuck it up 100% of the time. But if I just like go somewhere else, I'm like, oh, I know what the hell I'm doing. I can do this. Like, it's kind of crazy. You just got to get out of your own head and, you know, understand that it's all going to be okay.
Now, this might be pulling the curtain back a little bit, and for people who are
Mm,
not professional wrestling fans, I'm going to kind of break it down to you. So there's two. There's probably more than just two, but I think the two main ones are either figuring it out in the back or calling it in the ring. Um,
mm,
what do you prefer as a star, or as a
mhm,
superstar or a wrestler,
mhm, mhm.
and can you do a little bit of the both?
I think it depends who you're in the ring with.
Yeah.
Like if it were me and like say if it were me and Rembrandt or me and Santi, someone that's way more experienced than me, I could kind of follow their lead. I definitely do like calling certain things in the back just so there's like almost like landmarks that I can get to. So it's like even if I get lost, I'm like, oh, we have to get to here, and then the rest will just flow together. But as far as like calling everything, my brain is way too
I don't know how you
absolutely
do it.
not.
Yeah. I'm in the back and I'll watch people putting a match together. I'm like, how the
Yeah,
fuck do you remember all that? Like,
I
and then
don't.
like the crowd is going, uh, do
Mhm.
this. And then you listen to the crowd and you kind of look at your opponent like, all right, we're adding this. Like, this is
Yeah, let's do
happening. They
that.
want me to chop you again. Guess what's
Yeah, it's like
happening?
we should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of get into your own flow of how you remember things. Like even when I had a match with Nikki Duke, um, we both have like shitty memories, and we had to kind of come up with like a cadence on how we like said something so we would remember it. So it's like bop bop boom, like all this stuff, and she's like, "Oh yeah, no, like I'll remember that."
Yeah. Beeped in
Like
the
all
boop.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. I was like, and then we boom, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
I watched Killian put a match together. It was Killian and Big Dust, and they were putting a match together with somebody, and they're like, "All right,
Hmm.
so Bing, and then a bop,
Right. Yes.
and I'm just like, are you like?"
Right.
Because I don't take Killian seriously because he's always
Yeah.
on his game and being funny, and I was like,
Right.
"Is that how he lit? Like
Yeah.
what?" But it
Yeah, and
works.
then
Yeah.
yeah, then I'm gonna bop you, and then like over here, yeah, exactly. It's crazy how your mind can remember things.
Yeah. Was there ever a point in training or coming up early in your career where you're like, I don't know if this is for me, where maybe you had a setback or something coming up where you kind of question if this is a path you wanted to be in?
Oh yeah, I mean, I still that still happens. Every time I train with Masha Slamovich, I'm like, is this what I want to do? Um, it's it's tough. Like before I started Fallout and like the world shut down, you kind of had to find anywhere to train. And I used to wake up super, super early and be at a gym by 5 a.m. so I could train with, I don't know if you know Bradley, Brother Greatness.
I'm not familiar now.
He's cool. But he used to like he took the time to like teach me how to roll and how to run ropes and stuff like that. And just like running the ropes, since my body wasn't used to it, my body would ache just like ridiculous. And I'm like, why do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? Like, holy shit, what am I doing? But there's definitely times in training where you have the same exact thought.
Yeah. I don't necessarily do
Mhm.
it. I I refed a match like as a bullshit thing because I just need someone to do it. And by the end, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm like, dude, I didn't have my knees were like I felt like I had rug burn
Right.
over my hands and my knees and my shoulders. I was like,
Yes.
fuck
Yeah.
this. I'll stick to
What do I
commentary.
do? Right. I know. It's crazy. We're all a little insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
So you were kind
yeah.
of talking about Brother Greatness and Masha and you know Ahmed and Sante, and I'm sure there's a few other trainers.
Mhm.
What does each
Mhm.
trainer at your school bring to the table that help you in each aspect of your path?
Oh my goodness. They're all so different, and I think I love that's what I love most about the Fallout Shelter is every
Hmm.
single trainer brings different experience, different mindset, different training techniques, and it's awesome. Like I could ask Masha, about Japan and like all this stuff, her experiences, stories, things like that, and then I go to Santi and he'll tell me about like his early days as like the Firebird and like all this stuff. And yeah, it's definitely cool to see who meshes with different trainers because there's definitely someone you're gonna gravitate towards more.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, they all bring something different. Like it's amazing to watch.
If
Yeah.
I had money and I ran my own promotion, Sante would
Yeah.
be my world champion and nobody would ever beat him. Like I think the
I love
great
that.
look, so good in the ring. Like I
Yes.
don't understand why they're not like maybe just because they're so booked in New York and they're busy with the school. But if you're listening to this, Northeast Pennsylvania, if you
Yeah.
need a megastar for your promotion, hit up
Yes.
George. He is so
Yes.
goddamn good.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can. One thing that annoys me about Santi, and I hope we can clip this and show it to him, is he was doing in training like last week where someone was practicing a move and he was like, "Oh, I want to see if I can do that." He just did it.
Yeah.
Like, no problem. Like, first or second try. And we're all just looking at him like, what are you
What a
doing?
freak of
Like,
nature. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, get out. Like, oh my God. He is amazing though. Like, I don't understand why he's not champion in everywhere,
Everywhere.
honestly.
Yeah.
Everywhere, honestly.
And Masha, I truly feel will be on a like. I love Impact. I'm a huge fan of Impact, but
Yeah.
they are destined for just like Jordan Grace. Masha's not
Yes.
too far behind.
Yes. Oh, I
I think you will
know.
see Masha in WWE NXT, and they're gonna flourish. Like Masha's unfucking believable.
100%.
Yeah.
She's insane. I love
ES,
watching her.
ESPN did a top 10 wrestlers list, I think last year. And it was
Hmm.
like Seth Rollins and this. And
Yes.
Masha was on that list, and she was one of the only
Yes.
females, and she was the only one outside of the AEW WWE New Japan block that was even considered.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
She's
So
she's a
talented.
superstar.
Yeah.
Everywhere she goes, like she's gonna be so huge, insane.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So a big thing too with wrestlers I always hear from them is having that aha moment where you feel like something in training like you couldn't get, or maybe you were like, this is where I need to be, and then it just during a match, or you're about to hit the curtain, or you come back through the curtain after a match and you're like, oh, it's second nature now. I had that moment where you feel like it just clicked. Have you hit that yet as a talent? And if you have, do you remember when it happened for you?
Hmm. An aha moment. Well, so like I said before, it took me a very long time to do basics. Um, I wasn't getting it, and someone said to me, JL Kodo, I'll shout her out. All she said to me was, "Hey, wrestling hurts," because I was so afraid of just like rolling and like breaking my neck from like rolling. And she literally looked me in the face. She was like 4'11". She's very short. She looked at me. She's like, "Wrestling hurts," and I was like, "Holy shit! Like wrestling hurts." And I just started rolling, and I just like started doing things correctly. So it's kind of like you never know what you can say to somebody that it's just gonna like click in your mind, like that, oh, like, yeah, absolutely wrestling hurts. Like, oh, let me run these ropes. Let me start rolling. Like, let me do all this shit. And it's like the disconnect was no longer there. Like, it's kind of insane.
Yeah. Now, coming from the Fallout Shelter and then breaking out and entering new promotions like a PPW and stuff, what is it like to enter a locker room where you don't really know anybody, or you're new to the scene, or you're kind of the new person there? Is it daunting? And how has it been like fitting in with new crowds every time you go to a new promotion?
It's super daunting. I have really bad social anxiety, whether that shows or not.
Not
But
when you hit the curtain.
completely different person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have really bad social anxiety. So walking into anywhere like alone, if I'm with somebody, like it's kind of different. But if I'm alone, which is a good like 97% of the time, I'm very like, I don't want to say shy because I don't even think that's the word. I'm just like very guarded. I'm like, hello, hello. I know I have to shake everybody's hand, but it's like I'm dying inside as I do it. Um, yeah, it's really daunting. I mean, anywhere I go. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, don't talk to, oh, should I talk to you? I don't know.
It's
So,
funny because the first couple times I seen you at PPW, you could definitely see you were like, and like come on, like, yo, you did great. You're like, thank you so much. Like,
I'm like, thank you so much.
yeah, but it's, I always say one of the biggest things I think every wrestling promotion should do, and maybe not, I don't know, but I think it's the most magical spot in professional wrestling, is that spot right before the curtain. Because you like, you have that moment in Gorilla where people are like last minute going over their matches and they're going over
Yeah,
everything, and you just see them transform. Like they go from smiles,
yeah,
like, and then they just like,
legit.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
such a magical experience. And then
yeah.
watching them, like one of the people, I'll put them up a little bit, like Brian
Mhm.
Johnson or like a Clutch, that are just
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely good at being just scumbag, angry. They hit the curtain, and they're still, as they're a couple steps through the curtain, still acting in front of the crowd as if they're still watching. And then
Yeah.
they take a second to decompress and are like, "How was my match?"
Right, they're
Like,
like, "How was that?" Yeah.
yeah, and I was just like, "It was fucking awesome." What do you mean how, like? But it,
I
like that, almost that
know.
insecurity drops where they separate from what they just were out there.
Yes.
It's
Right.
really cool to do that. How do you, for
Yeah.
you who plays this like like this heel, you go from the
Yeah.
social anxiety to this, what do you do to channel that?
Um, it actually usually starts as soon as I hear my music. I kind of like, oh, right, like I'm in this. Like I have to like be a bitch and like I'm fucking mad. And I always say that, especially at PPW, they should have a camera like right like by the curtain,
Mhm.
because like you'll see me just like pacing back and forth, and I'm like, oh shit, like my music. Like it's just a switch. It's kind of insane. But it's definitely like hearing my music, it kind of like it gets real all of a sudden. It's like, oh shit, like I'm going out there.
Yeah. Now
So
sometimes you do you mix up like just the makeup style or the look. Now I don't want to steal too much of fashion
yeah,
or look here, because I'm
yeah,
sure Lily's going to be hitting you up here for her fighting with fashion, but
yeah.
sometimes you'll do like almost like an homage to like a Luna Vachon, where you kind of do
Yes,
like the lightning or the vein. Is that
yes.
something you play with a lot too? Is like the look?
Yes, 100%. Because sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. When I started, like, I had the whole like eye, and then I saw a lot of people doing it, and I'm like, no, like it's
Yeah.
mine. Um, yeah, I try to switch it up, to see, what looks best, or like what's the vibe, like whatever. But yeah, sometimes I just go out there like a normal like makeup on my face, and people are like, oh, like where are the
Always get them
veins?
something different. Yeah.
I know. I was like, nah, you don't get the veins today. Like,
I was too angry. Someone had to die. Yeah.
exactly. Right. It's too hot in here. We're not getting veins today.
It's all gonna come right up. Um,
Legit. Yes.
who are some people you pull from when it comes to like inspiration for wrestling? Like I said, you do the Luna veins or stuff like that. But who are some
Yeah.
people from the past or present that you watch or study to go for, like, to pull from for inspiration?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely pull from like a lot of big men. So Bam Bam Bigelow is probably top. We love him. Yes.
So
Will
moonsaults are
Nihala.
coming.
What? Listen. I'm not gonna say yes or no to that.
If you bust out a moonsault, I will scream. I will scream loud. Like it will be.
If I bust out a moonsault, it's gonna be one time, and that's it. I better hit that shit.
Like high pitch, like
exactly. Yeah, Bull Vader is a huge one. Big Boss Man, Reggie Bennett from All Japan. Yeah, there's a bunch, but I'd really try to watch, big men do their thing. Awesome Kong.
yeah.
Yeah, Dump, who's coming out with a Netflix show
Yeah.
or movie, whatever.
What the hell's that called? It's a dope
Yeah.
name. I just forget what it is now.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
keep
something
seeing
like
things all over Twitter and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. Like,
yeah, it's awesome that pro wrestling is getting more of its stories put out there. Like I know the Dark Side of the Ring are important for people to hear, but like the Iron Claw getting its own movie, like there's so much out there of wrestling that just like people need to hear or understand about this industry.
Yeah, people that watched Iron Claw, they were like, I'm not even a wrestling fan, and like this was an amazing movie, and I'm like, yeah.
I love telling them that there's still a whole nother brother that you didn't hear about that also took their own life. Like it was so sad they had to cut a brother out.
I couldn't. That movie had me on such a roller coaster of emotion.
Yeah,
like I can't keep watching this.
It's so bad. I definitely still think though that Efron should have played Texas Tornado, and the guy who played Texas Tornado should have been Kerry.
Yeah.
I think they should have swapped them. Zach was so goddamn big.
I know.
And he had more the jawline of Texas Tornado. Like,
yeah.
So what are some moments and accomplishments that you have hit so far in your career that really stand out for you or that you're really proud of?
I'm really proud that I became Fallout Shelter champion because I worked my fucking ass off for that. So getting that kind of yeah, that was awesome. That like I'm sure you can see me in the video like crying as they give me the belt, which is like cut away.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was awesome. When I got my first belt from PAPW in Connecticut, I was like, I'm getting a belt. Like it's validation that it's like someone believes in you and like they believe that you can be the face of like their women's division and all that. And having PPW beating Danny Moe, like what the hell? Like it's all very surreal to me because in my mind, like who am I? You know what I mean? It's like I stay so humble and just like so self-aware that a lot of people are not self-aware. They just live in constant states of delusion, which I wish I could do. But
do you ever have imposter syndrome?
Oh my god, every day of my life.
Yeah, same.
I'm just an imposter in every.
They're gonna figure me out.
Life. Yeah, like my real job. I'm like, are you sure you want me to keep coming here? It's crazy to me. I don't even have the word, but like anytime someone like believes in like what I do, I'm just like, holy shit, man. Thank you. Like
and I'm not just saying this because you're a guest and you agreed to do the podcast and I don't want you to beat me up, but like like your style, like the powerhouse style is usually put in place to transition into getting the babyface more push, but you get that title and the promotions are like, no, that's the brand of our company. And it's almost breaking the mold or what normally happens for that role that you're playing in professional wrestling. It's just like, no, like beat her. You know what I mean? Like prove to us that you get the crowd over and you look believable to beat them.
Yeah. It's a lot of people come up to me and they tell me, like it's refreshing to, see what me and like someone else will do in a ring, and it kind of breaks it up from like the high flying stuff and the spots and things like that, because it's like I'm going in there to like beat the shit out of you and you're gonna see if you can make it out of here alive. Like that's the vibe we bring to our match, and people love it. I think people I don't think people realize that less is more, because like people are gonna connect with you if they connect with you or not. You know what I mean? Like, I just had a match with Christina Marie in Buffalo for
I
Empire
love
State
Christina.
Wrestling. Oh my God,
That's a test for
amazing.
PPW. Christina's like PPW royalty. So if
Yes.
you get cheered over Christina, that's a
I
huge
know.
deal.
Yes, book me and Christina, and maybe they'll hate me. But yeah, we had a match, and no one knew me. It was my first time there, and we didn't do a whole lot, but it's anytime I stopped her from doing anything to me, and I would just look at the crowd and just smile before I like decimated her, people lost their minds. They're like, "Holy shit!" Like, all I had to do was smile like an evil like person, and that's it. And people resonate with that. It's crazy to see because we're sandwiched in between everything else. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
awesome. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's been cool to recently on the independent scene is where women's wrestling or female wrestling doesn't get treated to the same caliber, and then a
Mhm.
female match happens or a woman's match happens, and it changes the crowd. Like the
Yes.
crowd almost gets more into the match, like it wakes them up again. Like I was just
Yes.
at a no ring show and every match was fantastic. It was really good. And then Riley Crow and Journey Burke go out there and
Yes.
just wake the place up, and like really good strikes. I think the biggest thing that hold a lot of female wrestlers back is the striking. Like they're almost
Yes.
afraid to lay it in on each other, but then they'll do like an intergender match and they'll punch the dude as
They're
hard as they
beat
can.
the shit
They
out.
get
Yes.
hit as hard as they can, and it almost
Yeah.
sells it more because they're being
Yes.
more aggressive. And sometimes those two females have a hard time meshing
Yes.
that together. Is that an issue that you've ever come across? Because you also have to protect your
Yes.
size to protect your character.
Yeah, I come across it a lot, and because I mean 99.9% of the time I'm bigger than the person in the ring. And it's I have to kind of remind them like, please hit me. I tell them, I'm like, please hit me. Like, do it safely, but like connect and hit me, because if you don't hit me, I can't I can't like sell the pain or the hurt or whatever it is. And if I do, we're gonna look dumb as I do it. So because I tell him, I was like, I'm gonna hit you. Like, I
Yeah.
promise. Like, I'm
Have
gonna
you
hit
ever
you.
not like not no sold, but like maybe they didn't land it as hard as you think they did, and you're like, until you start landing them, I'm not selling it. Like,
I mean, I haven't said it like that, but
yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's definitely happened in the ring where they whatever they give me, and I just look at them, and like I'll hit them right back, and then it's like, oh right, like I have to hit you. Yes,
yeah.
you do. Like, please hit me. I'm asking you to hit me.
Mhm.
So yes,
Another
yeah.
thing you've been really excelling at is your backstage work. Your interviews,
Mm,
your promos have been really good. Like
thank
once again,
you.
less is more, but you're
Yes.
nailing all the markers. I was laying in bed. I may have had a little bit of my medicine before sleep, right? And so I hit a couple hits, and I'm watching the interview with you and Scarlett Joe,
Yeah.
and where she keeps moving the microphone and you keep moving it back up and you kept calling her Nancy. Dude,
Yeah.
I watched it 100 times. I was crying laughing. Like I was
Yes.
tears. I was like, that was so fucking good. Nancy,
Right,
sorry.
Nancy.
And then her just going, sorry.
Sorry. Yes, I told her before we did that. I was like, I'm gonna keep calling you the wrong name. She's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna answer to it. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
good.
I keep calling her different flowers. I just think it's funny. Yeah. Scarlett Johansson, Tulip. I
Yeah.
just all these different.
Yeah. Every time I see her, I'm like, Jessica. What is your name?
It's so much more fun being the bad guy, the
Oh my
heel.
God. Yes.
Heel commentary is my absolute favorite because I can just
Yes.
because I don't play the traditional heel either. Like if there's a bad guy or like if I don't resonate with your character,
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
it comes through on commentary. Like win
Yeah.
me over. You know what I mean? Like
I'm gonna tell you if I don't
yeah,
resonate with you.
yeah. I get in some trouble sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I think a lot of times too, like even the way I look, people don't expect me to be funny or like
Yeah,
have a comedy like element to anything I do, but like I am the biggest comedy fan. Like I love you see like, I love laughing. It's probably my favorite fucking thing to do. And if I can incorporate even if it's just dry comedy that only I'll pop for, I'm
yeah,
gonna do it.
yeah.
Like,
Well, it
Oh
shows
my
your
god.
layers, right? You could be the scary heel. Can you be the lovable
Right.
baby face? Are you the comedy role? Like you're showing your different layers that you can pull out later down the road. Where if say PPW goes, all right, listen, this powerhouse gimmick has run its course. We have a new baby face
Hmm.
that we feel is going to get the big rub off you because you're going to be this dominant champ. I'm not saying this is what the
Right.
plans are,
Right.
but you're
Right.
this
Yeah.
dominant champion for someone to come in and get this big elevation. And I hope
Right.
they live up to it. But then you can turn around and be like, well, hey, can I do like a comedy role and bring this person in
Right.
almost like a buddy cop thing where
Yeah.
there's you're showing more value to yourself as a
Yeah.
talent by showing that diversity.
Yeah. You leave room for more. You're
Yeah.
not just, one dimensional.
Yeah. So what are
Mhm.
some goals for yourself personally or in the industry that you have set out for yourself going forward?
Um, I really want to. I mean, the big goal is to go to Japan. That's like, oh my god, like top. I will cry for days if I get to go to Japan. But I'm trying to like push west. I'm trying to get out of like the whole Northeast bubble and just keep, you know, getting to different promotions right now. Like that's the short term goal is just debuting in as many promotions as possible. So
I have a buddy who we'll clip this and I'll send it, but there's a person I would love to see you work. But
okay.
this person also is part of a team. And one of my buddies who has a promotion in Kansas uses their partner a lot, which is Heidi Hauserauth. I always mess up the name, but they're part of the
Oh
Wasteland.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You and Heidi would be a fantastic match. And then hopefully it leads to you versus Max the Impaler.
Right, yes. Yes. She's on
I
my
need
list.
Sammy versus Max the
Heidi,
Impaler.
yeah. Yes, Heidi's on my list and Max is also on my list.
That would be a fantastic
Yes,
match. Is
yes,
there
I
intergender
love
matches out there
that.
that you really want to have?
So I have one coming up that I have a match against Matt Tremont. On
What?
yeah. I have a match against Matt Tremont, Killdozer, Matt Tremont, on August 22nd, I think it is, for Stan Styles. Correct. For yep, it's at the H2O building for Stan Styles Intergender Bonanza for his birthday.
Yes.
So yes, definitely come see that.
Fucking hey, right. Yeah. Are you guys getting a little crazy? Cause all right, so for
I
if you
don't
don't know, Matt
know.
Tremont is like a deathmatch wrestler.
Yeah. So, I
Yeah.
don't know. That's a great question. I'd love to.
I was gonna say, is that something you're open to? Do you wanna get
Yeah,
to
yeah.
light tubes and barbed wire? Like
I don't know about all of that. I'll leave that to Masha Slamovich. But yeah, when they announced the match, I quoted it. I was like, "Do I bring the forks or does he bring the forks? Like, how does it work?" Like, I'm super excited. I wanted to work him for a while, so yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
it's in a couple
That's a
weeks
match I
coming
didn't
up.
think I wanted, and now we're getting it.
So right now, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, Sammy Chaos versus Killdozer.
So
Hmm.
because you're trained by Masha, if you do a match and you go color, are you going to
Mm.
be like Masha and wear that color for the whole night? Because every time I've ever seen Masha do color, after the match, she's backstage, she's eating,
Right,
and it's like her badge of honor. It's staying
right.
on
She's
until
like,
they get back home.
this is who I am now. Like this. I definitely would. I'd be like, look at me, look at my face. I'd be taking
Walking
so
into
many
Wawa on
pictures.
the way home, you're bloody.
Oh my god, that one of my favorite things to do is just to stay in my makeup after a show, even after it's like melted off, and just going into public places and acting like, why are you looking at me weird?
Yeah, you're the ones who are weird.
And it's like what? So I think if I do show color, I'm definitely just keeping it on my face till I get home.
Yeah. Is there anyone else
Yeah.
on the scene that you would like to work that's on your like a bucket list for you?
Yeah, there's a bunch. Yaya, from North Carolina. He's the current franchise champion for Battle Club. Um, Anthony Gamble, who is out of Battle Club. Um,
Have you worked Lala yet? Ruthless?
yes, I have.
That'd be a
She
good one
was
too. I have to
one
seek that
of
one out.
she. Yeah, I'll send it to you. She was one of my first big matches. Like, I'm gonna even say, like, she was my first like match, if that makes any sense. Like, I had a few matches before her, but like, I think wrestling her kind of just like we're starting here. Like, this is where Sammy Chaos is starting.
That's your aha moment. That's your
Oh
moment
my
where you had your
God.
awakening. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. Like, I'm gonna have to send that match to you because we had a lot of fun. And
Well, rest up, get well soon. Wrestled. I'm a huge Darius
yes,
Carter fan, and they wrestled Darius for what 10 minutes with a broken hip.
yes, she is a tough
You New
bitch.
Yorkers are fucking tough. I watched Rembrandt. I thought broke both of his legs is one of his first
Uh,
PPW matches, and still
yeah,
go like
yeah.
Rembrandt walking in with a knee 3 times the size and like throwing his pants on and going out there. I'm like tough as hell.
Yeah.
So
He's
Lala's gonna
like, we
come
got a
back
job
bigger
to
and
do.
better, and then you're
Yeah.
getting better. That'd be a good cross again, like hitting a
I
different
would
spot of your career.
love, yes, I would love to wrestle Lala again. But
Yeah.
yeah, she broke her hip wrestling Darius. Get well soon.
Yeah, Darius,
Oh,
he's another one. So good. Should be on TV.
oh my God. I'm confused as to why he's not.
Yeah.
I'm confused about a lot of things. So like
There's people you're watching like, why are you here still? Like,
yeah, like what is happening?
yeah. So what are outside of professional wrestling, what are some hobbies or interests that you have? I mean, you're wearing some horror movie merch there. What are we into?
Yes, I love horror. Halloween is just all year round for me. I used to have like a gothic Halloween Christmas tree up just all year round. But she had to go. But yeah, Halloween, like wrestling has consumed my entire life. But yeah, horror movies. I play guitar like here and there. Basketball. Anytime I can go out and like shoot hoops and just be outside and all that fun stuff. Yeah.
I definitely
I'm
see you
into
like to go to the local music scene a lot too. I got to go to see bands and stuff like that. What genres of music
Yes,
are you into?
I listen to everything. My my liked playlist on Spotify is a little schizophrenic, but I love going to like rock concerts and shit like that. Like I used to go to Ozfest and Orion Fest. Metallica is my favorite band. Like
Yeah.
yeah. So.
Through the Never movie is something I just put on every now and then, just if I want to vibe and I want to watch a music
Yeah.
concert movie. But I think that movie's gonna get dethroned for me when it comes out on Blu-ray because I went to go see it in theaters. But the Ghost movie,
No, yes.
so good. I love Ghosts. I'm
Mhm.
obsessed with them. I'm
Ghost is
also a
good,
big
yes.
emo. I love emo.
Oh yeah, 100. I mean,
Did you know who
wasn't
tomorrow's
an emo
guest is?
kid? Who?
I have the original, one of the original and founding members of Taking Back Sunday, Eddie Reyes, tomorrow
What?
on the yeah yeah yep.
What the hell?
You've got this new head filled up. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about
You karaoke the whole time.
Yeah, like remember that time you wrote that song? He's awesome.
That was awesome. You just turned into Chris Farley.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's all my interviews is like, remember that time?
Remember that time? I love it.
Horror movie wise, is there anything recently you just seen that you would recommend to people?
Oh my God! Everyone go watch Terrifier. All of the Terrifiers. The
You
third
excited for
one's
part
coming
3?
out, right? Oh my God.
It's a Christmas movie.
Oh my God. Halloween and Christmas are like my two faves. So like I'm gonna be so happy.
Yeah, and there's I see you're wearing the Friday the 13th. I think Friday the 13th is getting another
Yeah.
movie and also a TV show.
Oh really?
And I think Halloween is getting its own TV show as well.
Halloween is my favorite of all time.
Really? See, it was when I was a kid, and then as I got older, it became my least favorite.
What? Really?
Yeah, if you try to watch them in order, they're bad. Like the stories are bad. Like the idea of Michael as a character is sick, but the move, like I can't even watch the third one of the new one because part 2 had such a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, the new ones I don't watch and expect to enjoy them, if that makes any sense. I watch them because it's like I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's another Halloween movie. Let me put it on. But like I still anytime the first Halloween is just on TV or like whatever I see it, I'm like, yes.
It's the number 1 horror movie of all time for me. That's
like,
number 1. Number 2 is Dawn of the Dead for me.
Oh yeah.
I love the original Dawn of the Dead, and then and then actually it kind of bounces. It's either that or Scream. The original Scream.
Oh, okay.
Is my all-time favorite.
I really like, what is it? Train to Busan? Is that what
really
it is?
good?
Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
My god.
So fucking good. I've been really into the also the A24 movies, like where they're almost like psychological horror more than they are like I like slasher, but it's hard to find a good slasher.
Yeah, it gets old too after a while.
Yeah.
Like,
have you seen Abigail yet?
No, not yet.
Do that.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, it's so you know the premise of it?
No.
It's a heist movie. So they go and kidnap this really rich dude's daughter. And then you end up finding out the daughter's a vampire, but they're locked like House of Haunted Hill style in this house with this little girl vampire. So it's a horror comedy heist movie.
Oh my god.
It's awesome. Yeah, it was so fucking good. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we definitely have to touch back for a horror movie review. And then to kind of close this one up here, last two questions. This first one is, 3 years in, but I still feel like you have so much knowledge in 3 years because if you put yourself around really good people and you're putting your miles in. You're not someone who's just working 15 miles from their house. You're traveling. Multiple promotions are seeing you as their face, as their champion. What would be some encouragement you would give to somebody who is trying to chase their dream?
Don't stop, and don't listen to anybody telling you no, and don't read the comments. Ever.
Yeah, don't ever do that.
Don't ever do that shit. But,
and the last one is, what are you grateful for, and are you currently happy?
I'm grateful that I get to do the things that I get to fucking do. So I'm grateful for everyone that allows me to do the things that I do, and I'm pretty happy. Yeah, we're content at the moment.
Yeah. More gold. Sammi needs to look like Ultimo Dragon.
100%. I need that photo. So let's go.
I carry around one belt. I couldn't imagine winning like 6 of them. Like I look at like Cardona, I'm like, you have to have another suitcase. These are fucking heavy. Like
I know I don't know how he does that.
Like Danny and Facade, but at one point in time, both of them had like 35 belts.
Yeah, she used to come out the curtain with all of them, and I'm like, ma'am, what are you doing?
Can I have one? Like,
right, I'll hold one for you.
And then you took one off her.
And now I do.
I was hearing about her recently doing the highest elevation wrestling match.
Yes.
And I was like, that's super cool. And my first question was like logistic, like who carried the ring up there? Like I hope it was a no ring match. Are they like but I was told it was kind of makeshift. It was kind of like Mats and like that's the best way to do it, because wrestling in that elevation and carrying fucking boards.
Oh, I can't imagine the ring crew on that. No one showed up for ring crew that day.
Yeah, I quit. You're gonna climb up that mountain one board at a time.
Right.
Yeah, you better rent a helicopter. We'll assemble it here, and you crane it up on a helicopter.
Good luck.
Yeah. Where can people find and support you?
I'm on X and Instagram at Real Sammi Chaos. Same name, both places. Not to confuse y'all, because I know you get confused. So yes, look me up, stalk me, like all my things, and buy my merch.
Merch game is fantastic too, so definitely go get that. Get your merch. Most shows coming up. I know PPW is. I'm definitely missing. I think the 10th. I will be definitely missing that one, but I'll be back for the next one. So yeah, PPW coming up. Any other shows as well you want to promote or plug?
Yes, I have the one against Matt Tremont, the Intergender Bonanza, on the 22nd, I believe. Yes, the 22nd. That's a Thursday. And then August 24th, me and my tag partner are wrestling at Jobber Slam against the King Bees, the NWA Women's Tag Team Champs.
Yeah. So, that tag team is fun. You have a lot of that's kind of your comedy there a little bit. Is your tag team?
That's it. Yeah, survival of the thickest, man.
Yeah. So, I want that tag team to take off more. So more promotions need to start looking at women's tag teams, if not to a division, but let them compete in other ones. Like there's a lot of intergender tag teams, but let's survival of the thickest. Get them in promotions.
We fight men, women, all of them.
Is there a tag team that you're eyeing up that you would like to work as well?
Oh man, I mean, anyone can get it, man. But
Bussy.
we're focused on the king. Oh my god! I love how you just came out with that, like it was natural for you.
Yeah. That if I was a tag team, that's who I'd want to wrestle. Yeah. I'm a big Allie mark, but I also love it. I have an Effie action figure. Yeah. I have an
That's
Effie.
awesome.
Yeah. It's hard to see, but in the corner here is my Brody shoes. But behind that is my my wrestling is gay drag fan.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I bought it for Lily because she got me into drag and I got her into professional wrestling, which are like the same fucking thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, you need to see this wrestler, Effie. You're gonna love them. And,
oh my god.
Yeah. But
100%.
thank you so much for your time. I really look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Like I said, not this pay-per-view, but the next one we'll catch up. I'm sure you're still going to be the champ. No one's taking it off you anytime soon. But yes, Jesus Christ, the 22nd and the 10th of this month, get out there. You versus the Bulldozer. I cannot wait for that match. That's unbelievable. Go buy merch. Follow on social media. They said it. Stalk them. But if you get out of line, you're going to get smacked up. That's all there is to it. But thank you so much. I will be in touch. We got to do a horror movie review. I got to have you back for a horror review. Yes. Just so start brainstorming what you want to talk about, and we'll get it down. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. We'll see you next time. Here's some music by the Converse Kid. We'll be back tomorrow at 7:00 with our interview with Eddie Reyes from one of the original founding members of Taking Back Sunday. We just did the history of the Intercontinental Championship, myself and BP, which was a lot of fun. You can go check out a movie review with myself and Trixie Valentine. We just did Carrie, and then myself and Kim Rose just did I Saw the TV Glow. So tons and tons of content is out there. Go watch it, consume it, support it, and we'll see you on the next one. We're out of here.